First of all, pre-foreclosures are probably the best candidate to do subject to with. We have done more subject to deals with pre-foreclosure sellers than any other type of seller. And you may be wondering, well, what is a type of seller? Well, there's types of distress. There's types of situations that sellers have that you're going to be working on helping them solve. And so obviously pre-foreclosure is just one of those types. With a pre-foreclosure, there's obvious pain there, which of course they're not making their mortgage payment. There's something going on. Maybe it's a rental property. Their tenant's not paying the rent, so they can't afford the mortgage. Maybe it's their primary residence. Maybe someone in their household got laid off from their job. Maybe there's a health event that's causing them to not make their mortgage payment. Maybe they inherited the property from a family member, and now that mortgage has fallen behind. There's a lot of reasons why somebody could be in pre-foreclosure. But why is it that subject to works so well with pre-foreclosures? Well, here's the thing is, like any type of sale, there has to be a motivated party when it comes to the seller. The reason that some people decide to list with real estate agents is because they're motivated to sell, but they have maybe more of a normal situation where maybe they're getting a job transfer and they have time to move. Maybe they're going to upsize, move into a bigger home. Maybe they're going to downsize. Maybe they're in a 2-story and they want to move to a single story. There's a lot of reasons people would go and list with an agent. The people selling for those reasons aren't typically going to be the type of seller that you find that's going to sell on a subject to purchase, because they don't need to. They have multiple opportunities and multiple options. When we're looking at people that are in pre-foreclosure, oftentimes they don't have as many options as these other types of sellers. They have a ticking time bomb waiting to happen, which is called an auction date, meaning there's a definite time, depending on the state that you're in, that they will be losing their property if they don't get those mortgage payments caught up or get it reinstated or just sell the property. Those are going to be the options. So if we look at somebody that's in pre-foreclosure, what are their options? They can move out of the house, rent it to somebody. Hopefully they can, catch up those payments. Usually not a good viable option if they're months behind. It's hard for somebody that can't make their mortgage payment this month to, in 4 months from now, magically be able to pay the 4 months past due and get their mortgage current, right? So renting, not a great viable option. Getting a loan from a friend or a family member, that's another option. Is it a good option? I don't know. Usually not. Maybe they sell some stuff in their house. Maybe they sell a car to try to raise the money to be able to get their mortgage on track. Maybe they do a loan modification. A lot of the times the banks will try to work with the homeowner because, contrary to popular belief, banks don't want to take the properties back. Banks aren't in the real estate business. They're in the lending business. And so they don't want to actually take the property back. They want to just continue collecting payments on the note that they created with that homeowner. And so say they had a 30-year mortgage, the bank will say, hey, you're having a hard time making your payment. Why don't we reduce your payment to half of what it is for the next 6 months? Let's try to get you caught up. And then we'll just extend your loan from 30 years to 40 years so we can get you in a better situation so that you can continue paying this mortgage and start getting it caught back up and get yourself back on your feet based on whatever event that person or family might be going through. So those are things that could be happening with somebody that's in pre-foreclosure. So we talked about they can rent the property. They could list it with a realtor if that's an option for them. Sometimes that can work. They can get a loan modification. There's not too many more options for them besides, getting loans from friends, family, whatever, to try to get that mortgage caught up. And so why subject to really works well with pre-foreclosures is because the person that's already in pre-foreclosure, their credit is screwed up. They haven't been making their mortgage payment. Even if they had, maybe a 700-800 credit score before they started missing their payments, their score is now tanked into the 600s, low 600s, 500s and below. And so at an opportunity of an investor, meaning myself or one of you listening, they do not have a lot of options, and we have a unique solution that can solve multiple things for them. They're behind on their mortgage, they're missing payments, their credit score is getting jacked up, and you're coming along, bringing them an opportunity. And so the reason that I wanted to, talk about subject to and how that affects, with pre-foreclosures is because this is another thing for you to be able to do to go and serve more families. And so that's where mastering the skills around subject to is what's going to allow you to separate yourself from everyone else that's calling those same sellers and offering cash deals that are significantly lower than your offers can be because of the type of terms you can offer.